In the summer of 2010, Pine Hollow, Montana glowed under a wide blue sky, its hills alive with the buzz of crickets and the scent of pine. 10-year-old Lily Parker tore through the town on her bike, her brown ponytail whipping, her green eyes bright with curiosity. She was the kid who'd climb a tree to save a stuck kitten or wade into a creek to free a trapped frog. Animals were her best friends, and Pine Hollow was her kingdom. Lily lived in a cozy house with a creaky porch where her mom, Sarah, a schoolteacher, baked oatmeal cookies and hummed old songs. Her brother, Ben, 16 and restless, spent his days skateboarding or dreaming of big adventures. Their dad had passed away when Lily was a toddler, but Sarah and Ben filled the house with warmth. Lily's bedroom was a shrine to her love, posters of wolves, a jar of lightning bugs, and a tabby cat named Patches who curled up on her pillow. One hot July afternoon, Lily pedaled past the town's old grain silo, her backpack bouncing with a water bottle and a half-eaten apple. Ben was off with friends and Sarah was grading papers, so Lily was free to roam. A faint whimper stopped her, sharp and pained, coming from the woods. She dropped her bike, her sneakers kicking up dust, and ran toward the sound, her heart thumping like a drum. The forest was cool, sunlight dappling the mossy ground. Lily pushed through brambles, following the cries, until she saw it, a tiny red fox, its leg caught in a cruel metal trap. Its fur was dull with dirt, its eyes wide with panic, but it didn't growl as Lily knelt beside it. "Don't worry," she whispered, her voice soft as a breeze. "I'm gonna help you." Lily had heard about traps hunters set them for coyotes, breaking rules nobody enforced, but seeing a creature suffer made her chest ache. Her hands trembled as she pried the trap open, wincing as the fox yelped. Blood matted its leg, but it could stand. She wrapped it in her jacket, naming it Ember for its fiery coat, and sprinted home, the fox's warmth against her. Sarah was in the kitchen, sipping tea, when Lily burst in. "Mom, it's hurt. We gotta save it." Sarah's eyes widened, but she didn't scold. She grabbed a blanket and dialed Mr. Harris, the town's vet, a gruff man with a gentle touch. Lily sat cross-legged, stroking Ember's head, murmuring, "You're okay now." Mr. Harris arrived, his vet bag clinking. He cleaned Ember's wound, gave it a shot, and taught Lily how to wrap the leg. "You've got a gift, kid," he said, his voice warm. "This fox owes you." Lily's face lit up, her heart swelling. "I want to be like you, Mr. Harris. Save every animal." Sarah watched, her smile tinged with worry. "Lily, a fox isn't a pet. It's wild. And those traps, they're not safe. Promise you'll stay clear." Lily nodded, but her mind was elsewhere. She saw Ember's fear, felt the trap's bite. Something big was waking in her, a need to protect every creature caught in harm's way. That night, Lily lay in bed, Ember resting in a crate nearby, its breathing soft. She thought of the trap, the hunter who'd set it. She'd overheard folks at the diner talking about a market somewhere, a place where people sold rare animals, owls, snakes, even bear cubs. It made her skin crawl. "I'll stop them, Ember," she whispered. "I promise." The next morning, Lily told Ben everything, her words tumbling out as they sat on the porch. Ben, always up for trouble, grinned. "Let's wreck those traps, Lil." With Sarah at work, they grabbed a stick and headed to the woods, Ember hobbling behind, its bandage bright against its fur. The forest was quiet, the air heavy with pine. They found 2 traps, hidden under leaves, and snapped them shut with Ben's stick, laughing at the loud clank. But a shadow loomed, a hunter, broad and bearded, his rifle slung low. "Who's touching my traps?" he growled, stepping toward them. Lily's stomach dropped. Ben grabbed her arm. "Go!" They ran, branches snapping, the hunter's boots thudding close. Lily scooped up Ember, her legs burning as they darted through a creek, water splashing their knees. They lost him in the thick pines, collapsing behind a log, gasping and giggling. "You're nuts, Lil," Ben said, ruffling her hair. "But you're tough." Back home, Sarah was waiting, her face pale. "You could have been hurt," she said, hugging them tight. "No more woods, you hear?" Lily nodded, but her heart was stubborn. "Mom, those traps are wrong. Somebody's got to do something." Sarah sighed, brushing Lily's cheek. "I know, baby, but you're just a kid." Lily didn't argue, but she knew the truth, kids could fight, too. She fed Ember a carrot, watching its eyes glow with trust. "Mr. Harris said Ember could stay until it healed. Then they'd set it free." But Lily felt a bond, like Ember was family. A few days later, Lily sat by the creek with Emma, her best friend, who drew animals in a tattered sketchbook. Emma listened as Lily spilled her dreams to be a vet, save animals, find that market everyone whispered about. You think it's real? Emma asked, sketching Ember's ears. The market. It's real, Lily said, her voice fierce. And when I grow up, I'm gonna shut it down. Emma's pencil paused, her eyes worried. Just be careful, okay? Bad people don't like getting caught. Lily tossed a stone into the creek, watching the ripples spread. She was 10, small but stubborn, with a fire inside that wouldn't fade. Ember nuzzled her hand, and Lily smiled. She didn't know where her promise would lead, but she felt it calling, pulling her toward a fight bigger than Pine Hollow. As the sun dipped low, she made a silent vow. She'd grow up, get strong, and save every animal she could. And that market? She'd find it no matter what. 10 years after Lily Parker made her vow by the creek, the summer of 2020 draped Pine Hollow, Montana in a restless heat. At 20, Lily wasn't the scrappy kid who'd saved a fox named Ember from a hunter's trap. She was taller now, her brown hair pulled into a loose bun, her green eyes sharp with a quiet determination. A veterinary student at Montana State, she spent her days in lecture halls and her nights at the Pine Hollow Wildlife Sanctuary, a sprawling refuge where injured animals found a second chance. Ember, her red fox, lived in a cozy den in the backyard, a constant reminder of the promise she'd made at 10 to stop the shadowy market selling rare creatures. Pine Hollow had changed a bit, new stores, a busier main street, but it still felt like home. Lily's mom, Sarah, now the school principal, kept the house warm with her laughter. The worry lines creased her face when Lily came home late. Ben, her brother, was 26, chasing stories as a journalist in Missoula, texting Lily with tips and jokes. Emma, her best friend, was a wildlife biologist, always sketching animals and cheering Lily on. But the whispers Lily had heard as a kid about a market trading owls, snakes, and worse still lingered, driving her to work harder, to be ready. One humid June evening, Lily was at the sanctuary, scrubbing raccoon cages with Emma. The air smelled of hay and antiseptic, and a baby owl hooted softly nearby. Emma, her sketchbook tucked away, nudged Lily with a grin. You ever gonna take a break? Or is saving the world your new hobby? Lily laughed, flicking soap suds at her. World's not saved yet. Their banter stopped when Mr. Harris, the vet who'd guided Lily since she was 10, stormed in, his boots muddy. Poachers hit the West Valley, he said, his voice tight. Big operation, dear, maybe hawks. They're caging them for sale. We gotta move fast. Lily's heart kicked into gear. Poaching was common, but this sounded different, planned, like the market she'd sworn to find. She grabbed her backpack, stuffed with a first aid kit, flashlight, and phone. Emma hesitated, then slung on her own bag. I'm coming. Mr. Harris rounded up a small team: Lily, Emma, a stocky volunteer named Nate, and a quick-footed woman named Clara. They piled into the sanctuary's rattling van and sped toward the valley, the sky bruising purple. Lily's fingers tapped her knee, her mind racing. Ember was safe at home, but she felt her fox's spirit, bold and fierce, pushing her forward. Mr. Harris laid out the plan. Find the poacher's camp, take photos for the sheriff, and get out. No hero stuff, he warned, eyeing Lily. She nodded, but her blood hummed with purpose. The West Valley was a tangle of pines and rocky outcrops, the air thick with dusk. They parked a half-mile out, hiking in under fading light, their steps muffled by moss. Lily's boots crunched softly, her breath steady but her senses sharp. They spotted the camp in a hollow, a grim setup of tarps, crates, and a smoky fire. The stench of diesel and fear hit Lily hard. She crouched behind a fallen log, peering through ferns, and saw the cages. Deer fawns, their eyes huge, pressed against bars. Hawks, wings bound, screeching low. Two men, one with a shotgun, loaded crates onto a pickup truck, its headlights off. Lily's stomach twisted, but she steadied her phone, snapping photos. Emma whispered, "Those hawks are protected. This is trafficking, Lily, not just hunting." The word trafficking lit a fire in Lily's chest. She'd read about it in school. Animals stolen for exotic pets, zoos, or worse. This was the market, or a piece of it. She zoomed in, capturing a man's face, then a crate with a logo, a sharp Z in a circle. Zephyr. The name sparked a memory. something she'd overheard in town years ago, tied to that secret trade. Mr. Harris signaled to pull back, but Lily's phone clicked too loud. The shotgun man spun, his flashlight sweeping the trees. "Someone's out there," he barked. Lily froze, her heart slamming. "Go," Mr. Harris whispered. They bolted, branches snagging their clothes, the men's shouts echoing. Lily clutched her phone, her legs pumping as flashlights chased them. The truck roared to life, its tires spitting gravel. Emma stumbled and Lily grabbed her arm, yanking her forward. "Keep going," she hissed. They veered into a gully, the truck too big to follow. Nate led them through a thicket, thorns tearing at their sleeves. The men's lights faded, their curses swallowed by the forest. But Lily's pulse didn't slow until they reached a creek, collapsing in the mud. Her phone was safe, the Zephyr photo intact. "We got it," she panted, her voice fierce. Emma nodded, her face pale. "Mr. Harris wiped sweat from his eyes. "Sheriff's next. Good work, kid." Back at the sanctuary, Sheriff Coleman, a wiry man with a clipped voice, studied Lily's photos. "This is big," he said. "Zephyr's a name we've heard, shady outfit, maybe out of state. We'll take it from here." Lily nodded, but her mind was already racing. Zephyr wasn't just a logo. It was a clue, a thread to the market she'd promised to stop. At home, Sarah was waiting, her hands on her hips, worry etched deep. "Lily, you ran from armed men," she said, pulling her into a hug. "No more of this, please." Lily hugged her back, but her heart wouldn't bend. She showed Sarah the photos, the Zephyr logo glowing on her screen. "Mom, they're stealing animals, selling them like toys. I can't ignore it." Sarah's eyes softened, but her voice was firm. "You're my daughter. I need you safe." She didn't take the phone, though. She knew Lily's fire, the same one that had saved Ember. Ben called later, his voice crackling with excitement. "Zephyr? I've seen that name, Lil, in some sketchy business filings. Send me the photos. I'll dig." Lily sat on the porch, Amber curled at her feet, the fox's fur warm against her ankle. She thought of the fawns, the bound hawks, the Zephyr logo. Her promise at 10 wasn't a kid's fantasy anymore. It was real, and it was dangerous. She scratched Ember's ears, her resolve hardening. "We're just starting, buddy," she whispered. The next day, Lily and Emma met at the sanctuary, spreading maps across a table. Emma traced the Zephyr logo in her sketchbook, her brow furrowed. "This isn't local, Lily. It's big, maybe global. We gotta be smart." Lily nodded, her pulse quickening. Smart, yes, but she wasn't stopping. She'd heard the animals' cries, seen their cages. This was her fight. Mr. Harris waved her over, holding a letter from a wildlife group in Bozeman. "They heard about you, Lily. Want you for a bigger rescue team, West Coast, maybe abroad. You in?" Lily's heart leaped. Abroad meant bigger animals, bigger battles. It meant Zephyr. "I'm in," she said, her voice steady. As summer faded, Lily packed her books, hugged Sarah tight, and rubbed Ember's ears one last time. Then texted. "Zephyr's got ties to South America. Call me when you land." Lily boarded a bus, Pine Hollow's hills blurring past, her mind on the animals waiting. She was 20, a rescuer with a promise to keep. The market was out there, and Zephyr was her first step. As the bus rumbled on, she felt that old fire flare, ready to burn brighter than ever. The plane touched down in Manaus, Brazil, in July 2025, and Lily Parker stepped into a wall of humid air, her boots hitting the tarmac with purpose. At 25, she was no longer the Montana girl who'd vowed to stop an animal market at 10 or chased poachers at 20. She was a seasoned rescuer now, her face tanned from years in the field, her green eyes fierce under a faded cap. Her backpack held a vet kit, a camera, and a photo of Ember, her red fox, left behind with her mom, Sarah, in Pine Hollow. That childhood promise, to shut down the market, had led her here, chasing Zephyr, the trafficking ring she'd glimpsed 5 years ago. Lily had spent the last 5 years building her skills, saving bears in Alaska, rehabbing manatees in Florida, always tracking Zephyr's shadow. Her brother, Ben, now a dogged journalist, sent her leads from Missoula, while Emma, her biologist friend, shared data from her lab. Sarah's weekly calls mixed pride with pleas for caution, but Lily couldn't stop. Zephyr was stealing animals' lives, and she was ready to fight back. She joined Global Wildlife Defense, a group fighting trafficking worldwide. And they'd sent her to Brazil to investigate a spike in smuggled macaws, parrots whose bright feathers made them black market gold. The tip came from Diego Santos, a Brazilian activist with sharp eyes and a fearless streak. Diego had tracked Zephyr for years and reached out after hearing of Lily's Montana bust. They're running a market in the Amazon. He'd said over a staticky call. It's Zephyr and it's huge. Lily didn't blink. She hugged Sarah goodbye, tucked Ember's photo in her bag, and flew to the jungle. Now! Lily stood outside a Manaus cafe, sipping bitter coffee as Diego slid into the seat across from her. His dark hair was damp with sweat, his smile quick but serious. The market's deep in the jungle, he said, spreading a map. Guarded, dangerous. We get photos, names, proof, then we hit Zephyr hard. Lily nodded, her fingers tracing the map's rivers. Her camera hung ready, her vet kit packed. I'm in, she said, her voice steady. They set out at dusk, boarding a small boat that cut through the Amazon's inky waters. The jungle was alive. Frogs croaking, birds shrieking, its noise cloaking their engine's hum. Diego steered, his eyes scanning for patrols, while Lily checked her camera, her heart thumping but focused. They docked a mile from the market, tying the boat to a mangrove and trekking through mud, vines slapping their faces. The air smelled of earth and decay, heavy with the weight of life. The market emerged like a nightmare, a sprawl of tents under towering trees, lit by buzzing generators, packed with cages. Macaws screamed, their colors faded by fear. A baby tapir roped to a post trembled. Lily's chest tightened, but she crouched behind a crate snapping photos. Diego pointed to a man in a sleek jacket directing workers. That's Raul, he whispered. Zephyr's point man. Ships to Asia. Lily's lens caught Raul's face, then a crate stamped with the Zephyr logo, the same Z she'd seen in Montana. This was their hub. She zoomed in, capturing crates of snakes. A jaguar cub's pleading eyes. Her hands shook, not from fear but rage. These animals weren't trophies, they were prisoners. Diego tugged her sleeve, urging her back. But Lily's camera flashed. A rookie mistake. A guard spun, his machete glinting, and shouted, "Intrusos!" Chaos exploded. Guards grabbed rifles, buyers fled, and Lily's stomach lurched. Run! Diego hissed, pulling her through the stalls. They sprinted, cages rattling as animals wailed. Lily's camera bounced, her vet bag catching on ropes. Guards charged, their boots churning mud, flashlights slashing the dark. A gunshot cracked, too close, splintering a tree. Lily's breath burned, her legs pumping as Diego led her to the river. Boat's gone, he yelled, spotting their cut mooring. Lily's eyes locked on a rickety skiff tied nearby. There, she shouted. They leaped in, Diego paddling as bullets zipped past, one grazing the hull. The river's current yanked them into darkness, the guards' lights shrinking. Lily's lungs heaved, her hands clutching the camera, Raul's face, and the Zephyr logo safe inside. We got it. She gasped, adrenaline spiking. Diego nodded, his face grim but proud. They reached a hidden bend, where a local ally, an old fisherman with weathered hands, met them with a motorboat. He bandaged a scrape on Lily's arm, his silence steadying her, and ferried them to a safe house, a shack buried in the jungle. In the shack's dim light, Lily sent her photos to Ben, her fingers trembling. Zephyr's massive, she typed. Raul's running it here. Dig into him. Ben's reply was instant. Damn, Lil. Raul's linked to a guy named Cade in Thailand. Stay sharp. Lily's jaw clenched. Thailand. Cade. Zephyr wasn't just a ring, it was a web, and she was caught in it. Diego cleaned his machete, his voice low. Cade's the real boss. Ruthless. Raul's just a pawn. Lily stared at her photos, the jaguar cub's eyes searing her heart. Then we go for Cade, she said, her voice hard. Diego's eyebrows shot up, but he grinned. Your trouble, Lily Parker. I like it. Sarah's call came at dawn, her voice shaky over a satellite phone. Lily, Ben told me. Gunshots? In Brazil? Come home, please. Lily's throat ached. She hated scaring Sarah, but the animal's cries echoed in her head. Mom, I'm okay, she said. I'm close to stopping this. I have to keep going. Sarah was silent, then whispered, I love you. Be careful. Lily's eyes stung. Love you too. Diego spread a map, pointing to Bangkok. Cade's there. Zephyr's Asian base. We get proof we can end this. Lily's pulse raced. Thailand was a leap farther. Riskier than anything she'd faced. But she saw the tapers trembling, the macaw's broken spirits. Her promise at 10 wasn't just a spark anymore, it was a blaze. Let's do it, she said. They spent the day in the safe house, Diego teaching her to move quieter, spot ambushes. Lily emailed Emma asking for Zephyr's Asian records. Emma's reply was quick. Found shipping logs to Bangkok. This big. Watch your back. Ben sent a file on Cade. A phantom with blood on his hands, untouchable. Lily's stomach nodded, but her fire held. She had Diego, Ben, Emma, and a mission that wouldn't let her go. As night cloaked the jungle, Lily sat by the shack's window, the river's murmur in her ears. She pictured Ember, safe in Pine Hollow. And the animals here, still caged. Thailand was next, Cade in her crosshairs. Her childhood vow to save animals, to stop the market, was alive, pulling her across the world. She gripped her camera. The Zephyr logo burned into her mind and knew the fight was just beginning. Bangkok's heat hit Lily Parker like a fist as she stepped off the plane in August 2025, the city's chaos wrapping her in a blur of neon lights and honking scooters. At 25, she was a far cry from the Montana kid who'd saved a fox named Ember, or even the young rescuer who'd chased poachers 5 years ago. Her face was lined from jungle treks, her green eyes sharp under a worn cap, her backpack heavy with a vet kit and camera. That childhood vow, to stop the animal market, had pulled her from Brazil's jungles to Thailand's streets, chasing Cade, the Zephyr trafficking ring's shadowy kingpin. Ember's photo, tucked in her pocket, was her anchor, a reminder of why she fought. Lily's mission with global wildlife defense had grown fiercer since Brazil, where she'd exposed Zephyr's market with Diego Santos, her Brazilian ally. Her brother, Ben, dug up leads from Missoula, linking Cade to Bangkok's underworld. Emma, her biologist friend, sent shipping data pinpointing Zephyr's Asian hub. Sarah's calls from Pine Hollow begged for caution, but Lily's fire burned too bright to stop. Cade was the key to dismantling Zephyr, and she was here to find him. Diego met her at a crowded noodle stall, his quick smile cutting through the steam. Welcome to the jungle, amiga, he said, sliding her a map. Zephyr's got a warehouse near the docks, rhinos, tigers, you name it. We get in, get proof, get out. Lily's pulse quickened. Her camera was ready, her vet skills sharp. Let's hit them where it hurts, she said, her voice low but fierce. They moved at midnight, weaving through Bangkok's alleys, the air thick with curry and exhaust. The warehouse loomed by the river, a hulking shadow of rust and concrete, guarded by men with pistols and grim faces. Diego's contact, a wiry Thai hacker named Noi, had scoped the place. Cade's goods moved through here, bound for rich buyers. Lily and Diego slipped past a chain-link fence, crouching behind oil drums, the river's gurgle masking their steps. Her heart pounded, but her hands were steady, snapping photos of crates stacked high, each marked with Zephyr's Z logo. Inside, the warehouse was a maze of cages under flickering bulbs. Tiger cubs whimpered, their paws raw. Rhino horns, blood-streaked, sat in locked cases. Lily's throat burned, but she focused, capturing every detail: crates, guards, a laptop glowing on a desk. Diego whispered, that's Cade's system. Names, buyers, routes? Lily nodded, creeping closer, but a guard's radio crackled, and her boot scuffed the floor. The guard spun, shouting, who's there? Lights flared and the warehouse erupted. Diego yanked Lily behind a crate, but a door slammed open, revealing a sight that stopped her cold. Emma, her best friend, bound and gagged, her eyes wide with fear. Emma, who'd been feeding Lily data from Montana, was here, a hostage. Lily's stomach dropped. No, she whispered, her mind racing. Emma must have come to Thailand, digging too deep. Cade had her. Move. Diego hissed, but Lily's feet were glued. A guard dragged Emma toward a back room, and Lily's fire roared. She couldn't leave her friend. I'm getting her, she said, her voice steel. Diego cursed but nodded, pulling a knife. They split, Diego for the laptop, Lily for Emma. She dodged a guard, her vet training kicking in as she grabbed a tranquilizer dart from her kit, jabbing it into his arm. He slumped, and she sprinted, following Emma's muffled cries. The back room was a concrete cell, lit by a single bulb. Emma was tied to a chair, a man in a silk suit, Cade's enforcer, not Cade himself, looming over her. "Your friend's nosy," he sneered. Spotting Lily. Bad move. He lunged, but Lily was faster, ducking and slamming her flashlight into his knee. He howled and she tackled him, her fists flying, fueled by fear and fury. Emma's eyes locked on hers, urging her on. Lily pinned the man, zip-tying his hands with a cord from her bag, her breath ragged. She cut Emma free, pulling the gag off. "Lily, I'm sorry." Emma gasped, her voice hoarse. "I tracked Cade's shipments, got too close." Lily hugged her tight, her heart pounding. "You're safe now. Let's go." But alarms blared, and boots thundered. More guards drawn by the fight. Diego burst in, clutching a USB drive. "Got the data. Move." They ran, the warehouse a blur of shouts and shadows. Guards fired, bullets pinging off metal. Lily shielded Emma, her camera swinging, as Diego led them to a side exit. The warehouse's fuel drums caught a stray spark, and flames licked the walls, smoke choking the air. They burst into the night, the river glinting ahead. Noise motorboat waited, engine roaring. They piled in, bullets splashing the water, and sped into the dark. The warehouse burning behind them. Noy dropped them at a safe house, a cramped apartment above a market, smelling of fish and incense. Lily's hands shook as she checked Emma's bruises, her vet skills calming her friend. Diego plugged the USB into a laptop, revealing Cade's client list, names, dates, millions in deals. "This is it," Diego said. "Enough to bury Zephyr." Emma nodded, her voice steady despite the ordeal. "Cade's untouchable, but this can hurt him." Ben's call came through a burner phone, his voice tense. "Lil, Emma's with you?" "Thank God. That data's gold. Cade's tied to a U.S. senator. I'm leaking it to Interpol." Lily's jaw tightened. A senator? Zephyr's web was bigger than she'd imagined. Sarah's voice followed, trembling. "Lily, you're scaring me to death. Come home." Lily's chest ached. "Mom, I'm okay. Emma's safe. We're close to ending this." Sarah sighed. "I'm proud, but I'm terrified." Lily sat with Emma, the city's hum filtering through the window. "Why didn't you tell me you were here?" she asked softly. Emma's eyes dropped. "I wanted to help, not worry you. I messed up." Lily squeezed her hand. "You're my family. We do this together." Emma smiled, weak but real. Diego spread a map, his face grim. "Cade's got a stronghold outside Bangkok. That's where he runs the show. We hit it. We take him down." Lily's heart raced. The stronghold was Zephyr's heart, Cade's throne. Her promise at 10 to save animals, stop the market, was leading her there. She thought of Ember, of the tiger cubs, of Emma's courage. "We end this," she said, her voice unwavering. They planned through the night, Noy hacking Cade's security, Diego mapping routes. Lily emailed Ben the client list, asking him to coordinate with Interpol. Emma, recovering, sketched the warehouse's animals, her pencil steadying her. Lily gripped her camera. The Zephyr logo etched in her mind. The stronghold was next, Cade in her sights. Her childhood vow wasn't just a dream. It was a war, and she was ready to fight. The jungle outside Bangkok hummed with danger as Lily Parker crept through the pre-dawn mist, her boots silent on the damp earth. It was August 2025, and at 25, Lily was a battle-hardened rescuer. Her green eyes fierce under a sweat-soaked cap, her camera and vet kit slung low. The vow she'd made at 10 to stop the animal market had led her from Pine Hollow's hills to this moment. Closing in on Cade's stronghold, the heart of the Zephyr trafficking ring. Ember's photo, creased in her pocket, burned like a talisman, reminding her why she couldn't fail. Days ago, in Bangkok's chaos, Lily had rescued her friend Emma from Zephyr's warehouse, snatching data that exposed Cade's empire. Diego, her Brazilian ally, had fought beside her, while Ben, her journalist brother, leaked the data to Interpol from Missoula. Emma, now safe but shaken, coordinated from a Bangkok safe house, and Sarah's worried calls from Montana urged Lily home. But Cade, Zephyr's untouchable kingpin, was here, and Lily was done running. Tonight, she'd end it. Diego crouched beside her, his machete glinting, his quick smile gone. Behind them, an Interpol team, 6 agents in tactical gear, led by a steely officer named Agent Lin, moved like shadows. Noi, the Thai hacker, had cracked Cade's security, mapping the stronghold. A fortified compound in the jungle, ringed by guards and traps packed with animals destined for black market buyers. Cade's inside, Diego whispered. So are the animals. We hit hard, we hit fast. Lily nodded, her pulse pounding but steady. For the animals, she said, gripping her camera. They fanned out, Lily and Diego with 2 agents, approaching a side gate under cover of vines. The stronghold loomed. Concrete walls, razor wire, floodlights slicing the dark. Guards patrolled, rifles slung low, their radios crackling. Lily's team waited, hearts thumping, as Noi disabled the cameras via remote. A guard paused, sniffing the air, and Lily held her breath, her hand on a tranquilizer dart. He moved on, and Agent Lin signaled, go. They cut the gate's lock, slipping inside a courtyard stacked with crates. The air stank of fear and blood. Lily's flashlight caught a cage. Elephant calves, their trunks limp, eyes dull. Her stomach churned, but she snapped photos, evidence for Interpol. Diego pointed to a steel door, Cade's command center. That's our target, he whispered, but a shout rang out. A guard spotting their cut wire. Alarms screamed, and the compound exploded into chaos. Move! Agent Lin barked. Guards fired, bullets sparking off concrete. Lily dove behind a crate, her dart gun steady, dropping a guard with a tranquilizer. Diego slashed a tripwire, clearing a path as Interpol agents returned fire, their shots precise. Lily sprinted for the animal pens, her mission clear, free them. She pried open a cage, releasing a pair of gibbons, their shrieks echoing as they fled. An agent covered her, shouting, Parker, get to Cade. The command center's door was locked. But Diego kicked it down, revealing a high-tech hub, screens, files, and Cade himself, a lean man with cold eyes, barking orders into a radio. He spun, drawing a pistol, but Lily was faster, tackling him with a vet's precision, pinning his arm. It's over, she growled, zip-tying his wrists as Diego grabbed the radio, cutting Cade's commands. Interpol stormed in, cuffing Cade's men. But Lily's eyes locked on a screen. Live feeds of animals. Tigers, pangolins, more. Still caged below. Diego, the pens! She shouted, racing downstairs. The basement was a hellscape. Rows of cages, animals whimpering under harsh lights. A tiger cub, barely breathing, clawed weakly at its bars. Lily's heart broke, but her hands moved fast, popping locks, soothing with her vet voice. Diego freed a pangolin, its scales dull, while agents hauled crates to safety. But a tremor shook the floor. Explosives, rigged by Cade's men to destroy evidence. Out now! Agent Lin yelled. Smoke curled, flames licking the walls. Lily grabbed the tiger cub, its fur soft against her chest, and ran, Diego and an agent dragging a crate of hornbills. The stronghold groaned, debris falling. As they burst into the jungle, flames roaring behind. Interpol's vans waited, engines running, and they piled in, animals and data secure. The stronghold collapsed in a fiery glow. Zephyr's heart burned to ash. At the safe house, a warehouse turned triage center, Lily worked feverishly, bandaging the tiger cub, feeding it milk from a syringe. Emma, her bruises fading, cataloged the animals, dozens saved, from parrots to otters. Diego cleaned a gibbon's wounds, his hands gentle despite the night's violence. Agent Lin approached, her face grim but impressed. Cade's talking. Named a U.S. senator as his backer. Your data sealed it, Parker. Zephyr's done. Lily's chest tightened, relief mixing with exhaustion. She thought of Ember, of her promise at 10. The cub nuzzled her hand, its eyes brighter now, and tears stung her own. We did it, she whispered, half to the cub, half to herself. Ben's call came through, his voice electric. Lil? The senator's exposed. Interpol's arresting Zephyr's buyers worldwide. You're a hero. Sarah's voice followed, choked with sobs. Lily, I'm so proud. Come home, please. Lily hugged Emma, who smiled through her own tears. You saved me, then this, Emma said, gesturing to the animals. You're unstoppable. Diego clapped her shoulder, his grin back. Told you, amiga? Trouble. Lily laughed, the sound raw but real. The fight wasn't over, animals still needed her, but Zephyr's fall was a victory, a promise kept. As dawn broke, Lily sat among the cages. the tiger cub asleep in her lap. She pulled out Ember's photo, her fingers tracing the fox's face. Her childhood vow had carried her across continents through gunfire and flames. Cade was gone. His empire cracked, but the animals she'd saved were just the start. She needed to go home, to heal, to plan the next step. Pine Hollow was calling, and with it, a new dream, not just to fight, but to build something lasting. She stood, the cub cradled close, and joined Diego and Emma at a van loaded with animals for a sanctuary. Back to Montana? Diego asked, his eyes knowing. Lily nodded, her heart full. For now. But this isn't the end. As the van rolled toward the airport, Bangkok's skyline fading, Lily felt her fire shift, not dimming, but growing. Ready to light a new path. She was going home, but her fight for the animals was far from over. The September sun dipped low over Pine Hollow, Montana, painting the hills gold as Lily Parker stepped off a bus, her boots crunching on familiar gravel. It was 2025, and at 25, she carried the weight of a war won. Zephyr's trafficking empire had crumbled under her hands in Thailand just weeks ago. Her green eyes softened at the sight of home. Her backpack light, but her heart full. The tiger cub she'd saved, now thriving in a Bangkok sanctuary, lingered in her mind, but it was Ember's photo, creased in her pocket, that anchored her. That vow at 10, to save animals, to stop the market, had brought her back, not to rest, but to build something new. Pine Hollow hadn't changed much, the same diner, the same creaky bridge, the same pine-scented air. But Lily had. She wasn't the kid who'd rescued a fox or the young rescuer who'd chased poachers. She was a woman forged by jungles and gunfire. Her fire now tempered with a dream to create, not just fight. Her mom, Sarah, waited at the house, her brother, Ben, was driving in from Missoula, and Emma, healed from her ordeal in Thailand, had promised to visit. Diego, her Brazilian ally, was tying up loose ends abroad, but his texts buzzed with plans to join her. Lily was home, but her mission wasn't over. Sarah stood on the porch, her hair grayer now, her arms open. Lily dropped her bag and ran, burying herself in her mom's embrace, the scent of lavender and home washing over her. "You're here," Sarah whispered, tears in her eyes. "You're safe." Lily's throat tightened. "I'm sorry I scared you, Mom." Sarah pulled back, smiling through her tears. "You're my hero, Lily. Always will be." Ember bounded from the backyard, her red fur glinting, her limp long gone. Lily knelt, laughing as the fox nuzzled her, tail swishing like a flame. "Missed you, buddy," she murmured, scratching Ember's ears. The fox's eyes, bright with trust, reminded her why she'd fought. Every animal deserved that freedom, that bond. Sarah watched, her worry easing. "She waited for you," she said, "every day." Ben arrived that evening, his pickup rattling, his grin wide. He hugged Lily tight, ruffling her hair like when they were kids. "You took down a crime lord, Lil. Not bad for a Pine Hollow girl." Lily laughed, shoving him playfully. "You helped, Mr. Journalist. That senator's toast because of you." Ben's expose on Zephyr's U.S. backer had rocked the news, and Interpol was still rounding up buyers. But Lily's mind was on the future, not the past. The next morning, Lily walked the hills with Ember, the grass tickling her ankles. She'd saved animals across the world, but Pine Hollow had its own battles, traps, poachers, injured wildlife. Her dream, sparked in Thailand, was taking shape, a sanctuary here, a haven for animals. A place to heal and teach others to fight for them. She'd named it already, Ember's Haven, after the fox who'd started it all. She met Emma at the diner, her friend's sketchbook now filled with drawings of the animals they'd saved. Emma's bruises had faded, her quiet strength back. "You're really doing this?" she asked, sipping coffee. "A sanctuary?" Lily nodded, her eyes bright. "It's not enough to save them. We gotta protect them. Teach kids like I was to care." Emma smiled, sketching a fox. "I'm in. Biologist on board." Lily scouted a plot outside town, a wide meadow bordered by pines, perfect for pens and rehab spaces. Mr. Harris, the vet who'd mentored her, offered his expertise, his gruff voice warm with pride. "You're building something big, kid," he said. Lily grinned, her heart swelling. She used her savings plus donations from Global Wildlife Defense to buy the land, then set up a website, spreading the word while Sarah rallied the town, her principal's charm unstoppable. But the work wasn't all planning. A week after her return, a farmer called about a wolf pup caught in a fence. his leg torn. Lily grabbed her vet kit, Ember trailing her, and drove out with Emma. The pup was gray and shivering, its whimpers breaking Lily's heart. She freed it gently, bandaging its leg as Emma soothed it with soft words. They brought it to Mr. Harris, who nodded approval. "This one's a fighter, like you." Lily smiled, but the pup's pain lingered. A reminder that her fight was local, too. The sanctuary's groundbreaking came in October, a crisp day with leaves falling like confetti. Townsfolk gathered, kids clutching balloons. As Lily stood with Sarah, Ben, and Emma, a shovel in her hands. The tiger cub's new home, a Thai sanctuary, had sent a video, its playful pounce a gift that made her choke up. Diego arrived, his quick smile lighting the crowd, and handed Lily a plaque, "Ember's Haven, for every creature." She drove the shovel into the earth, tears mixing with her grin, as cheers erupted. Building wasn't easy. Lily hauled lumber, dug pens, and treated injured animals, her days long but full. One night, she found a crate at the site, 3 orphaned raccoons, left by someone who'd heard of her work. She fed them, their tiny paws grabbing her fingers, and felt her dream take root. Emma designed habitats, Ben filmed a documentary. And Diego trained volunteers, his jungle tricks now Pine Hollow lessons. Sarah baked for the crew, her worry replaced by pride. One evening, Lily sat by the sanctuary's half-built pens. Ember curled beside her, the stars bright above. She pulled out her camera, flipping through photos, Brazil's macaws, Thailand's tigers, Montana's wolves. Her vow at 10 had carried her through danger. But this Ember's Haven was her heart's true work. She thought of the kids who'd visit, learning to love animals like she had. "We're doing it, buddy," she whispered to Ember, her voice thick. Sarah joined her, wrapping a blanket around them. "I was so scared you'd never come back," she admitted. Lily leaned into her mom, tears falling. "I had to fight, Mom. For them." Sarah nodded, her hand squeezing Lily's. "And now you're building. I'm so proud." They sat in silence, Ember's warmth between them, the sanctuary's promise glowing in the dark. Diego and Emma stayed for the winter, helping finish the first pens. The wolf pup, now healed, romped in a meadow, its pack nearby. Lily's phone buzzed with messages, Global Wildlife Defense offering support, schools booking tours. Ben's documentary aired, donations pouring in. Lily's fire, once a blaze of battle, was now a steady flame, warming her home, her town, her future. As snow-dusted Pine Hollow, Lily stood at Ember's Haven, the sign gleaming. Her childhood promise had torn down an empire. But this sanctuary was her legacy's start. A place where animals could heal, where kids could learn, where her fight would live on. She felt Ember's nudge, heard Sarah's laugh, saw Diego and Emma's smiles. Home was her foundation, but her heart was already reaching out, ready for the next call. The next creature in need. Spring 2026 bloomed over Pine Hollow, Montana, the meadows bursting with wildflowers as Lily Parker stood at Ember's Haven, her sanctuary alive with the chatter of kids and the rustle of animals. At 26, Lily was a beacon, her green eyes bright with purpose, her hands calloused from building a haven that had grown from a dream into a reality. The vow she'd made at 10, to save animals and stop the market, had toppled Zephyr's empire and birthed this place, named for Ember, the red fox who'd sparked her fire. Now, with Ember's photo in her office and the real fox napping in a sunny pen, Lily was shaping a legacy, teaching others to carry her fight. Ember's Haven was thriving. Pens for wolves, aviaries for hawks, a clinic where Lily's vet skills healed broken wings and torn paws. Her mom, Sarah, volunteered on weekends, her laughter filling the air. Ben, her journalist brother, had moved closer, his documentaries funding the sanctuary. Emma, her biologist friend, ran the education program, her sketches now posters for school tours. Diego, her Brazilian ally, split time between Montana and South America, training rescuers with his jungle grit. But it was the kids, wide-eyed, eager, that lit Lily's heart, reminding her of herself at 10. On a crisp April morning, Lily led a group of middle schoolers through the sanctuary, their backpacks bouncing. A girl named Mia, with braids and a notebook, hung on every word. "Miss Lily, did you really fight bad guys to save animals?" she asked, clutching a drawing of a wolf. Lily smiled, kneeling to meet her eyes. "I did, Mia. But the real fight is here, caring for animals, learning to protect them. You can do that too." Mia beamed, and Lily felt her vow ripple forward, alive in this new generation. The lesson was cut short by a call from Sheriff Coleman. His voice urgent. Lily, we got a problem. Illegal hunters in the North Hills bears, maybe cubs. They're using snares. Can you help? Lily's pulse quickened. Memories of traps and Zephyr flashing back. She nodded to Emma, who took over the kids and grabbed her vet kit, calling Diego and Ben. We're on it, she said, her voice steady but fierce. Ember, sensing the shift, followed her to the truck, her tail high. They met the sheriff's team in the hills, the air sharp with pine and danger. Diego scouted ahead, his machete ready, while Ben filmed, his camera capturing evidence. Lily moved with purpose, her boots quiet, her eyes scanning for snares. They found the first, a cruel wire loop, empty but bloodstained. Her stomach twisted, but she kept moving, spotting a bear cub's tracks in the mud. This way, she whispered, leading the group deeper. The hunter's camp was a crude setup. Tarps, a smoldering fire, and cages. 2 cubs whimpered, their fur matted, caught in snares. 3 men, armed with rifles, argued over a map. Lily signaled the sheriff, who radioed for backup, but the cubs' cries tore at her. She couldn't wait. Diego, cover me, she said, creeping forward with a tranquilizer gun. Ben's camera rolled, his breath quiet but tense. Lily darted a hunter, the man slumping before he could shout. Diego tackled another, zip-tying his hands, but the third fired, the shot grazing Lily's arm, blood blooming on her sleeve. She gritted her teeth, diving behind a crate and darted the last man, his rifle clattering. The sheriff's team stormed in, cuffing the hunters, while Lily rushed to the cubs, her hands gentle despite the pain. She cut the snares, bandaging their wounds, her voice soft. You're safe now. Diego patched her arm, his grin strained. You're still trouble, amiga? Ben hugged her, his camera shaking. Lil? You scared me. Lily managed a smile, the cubs' warmth grounding her. They loaded the animals into the sheriff's van, bound for Ember's Haven, where Emma and Mr. Harris waited with a clinic ready. The hunters, linked to a small-time trafficking ring, were no Zephyr, but Lily knew every rescue mattered. Back at the sanctuary, Lily treated the cubs, their eyes trusting as she fed them. Mia and the kids watched, wide-eyed, as Emma explained how snares worked and why they fought them. Miss Lily's a hero, Mia said, her drawing now of the cubs. Lily shook her head, kneeling beside her. We're all heroes, Mia. You, me, everyone who cares. That's how we win. That night, Lily sat with Sarah, Ben, Emma, and Diego on the sanctuary's porch. Ember curled at her feet. The cubs slept in the clinic, their breathing steady. Sarah squeezed her hand, her worry softer now. You've built something incredible, Lily. I'm so proud. Ben raised a glass, his grin wide. To Ember's Haven and Lil, who never quits. Emma nodded, her sketchbook open to a new fox. Diego's eyes gleamed. The world's watching, amiga. What's next? Lily looked at the stars. Her arm bandaged, her heart full. Her vow at 10 had carried her through traps, jungles, and Zephyr's fall. Ember's Haven was her promise made real, a place where animals healed. Where kids like Mia learned to fight. But the call she'd felt as a girl, the one that led her to Ember, still whispered. There were more animals, more battles, and she'd answer them, not alone, but with her family, her friends, her community. The next day, Lily led a workshop, teaching kids to spot snares and bandage wounds. Mia's notebook filled with notes, her eyes as fierce as Lily's once were. A call came from Global Wildlife Defense, poaching in Africa, a chance to train rescuers there. Lily glanced at Ember, at the sanctuary's sign, and knew she'd go, not to fight alone, but to share her fire. She'd return, always, to Pine Hollow, to Ember's Haven, to home. As summer neared, Lily stood at the sanctuary. The cubs now romping in a pen, Mia and her friends cheering. She pulled out Ember's photo, her fingers tracing the fox's face. Her journey had taught her a truth, one she'd carry forever. Compassion, fueled by perseverance, could change the world. It wasn't just about saving animals, it was about inspiring others to save them, too. She'd been a girl with a dream, a rescuer with a mission, and now a leader with a legacy. Lily hugged Sarah, promising to call. She high-fived Ben, hugged Emma, and clapped Diego's shoulder. Keep the kids in line, she told them, her grin wide. With Ember's Haven thriving, she boarded a plane, the Montana hills fading below, her heart reaching for new horizons. The girl who'd saved a fox had grown into a woman who'd saved thousands and taught the world to do the same. Her fire burned on, a beacon for every creature, every kid, every fight still to come.